Could you elaborate a little bit on the term the central matter, what it means? I've heard you make reference to it before, but could you give a little bit more of an explanation?
The central matter for the teaching of Islam. What is the emphasis? The emphasis is on the dignity of man, humans, and the purity of human nature. And by appreciating the value and the potential in human nature as created and planned for by the one Lord Creator. This is the emphasis. The dignity of human life, the sanctity of human life, the destiny of human community in the discipline that has been established by the Lord Creator of all the systems of knowledge. We say, the Muslims, we say that Allah is one. La sharika lah, that he has no partners, that nothing can be joined with him. And so this is the fundamental core teaching of our religious faith, that Allah is one. And that upon this oneness, or upon this unity, we can use the term, the technical term in the religious teaching, come from the scholars, Tawheed, referring to the authority of God, that that nothing is deserving of worship except him, that he is the one who evolved his creation for a singular purpose. And the knowledge and logic of how man evolves to his destiny and how he realizes his potential in community has been provided for by the one God. And so man's destiny is one. So all of this is contained and understood under the heading Tawheed. Tawheed includes a reference to the oneness of creation, the oneness of humanity, the oneness of the human destiny, that is a singular destiny. And so this singular destiny is predicated upon or built upon a recognition of the sanctity of human nature, that there's nothing higher for us to claim for ourselves as an identity than human identity, not even racial identity. We hear now Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Yes, of course. Of course. And we understand that someone has suggested in the world that black lives should not matter, evidenced by what we understand to be systemic racism. So we see this. But what is the claim? What is the essential claim? What is the Black Lives Matter language pursuing? It is the blackness of the nature. It is the fundamental human identity. That is what we want to reconcile ourselves to. The Holy Quran and the Prophet Muhammad's teaching does not appeal to anyone in any racial identity. It appeals to the human life in its essential human form, in its essential human characteristics that are shared by all humans in human community, and also it is focusing the human life in its destiny as pluralistic community of man in one focus to secure and to defend the excellence of human life in its potential. So this is the core message. And if you're giving attention to peripheral matters, and not realizing that every discipline in Islam, every discipline, every ritual obligation is addressing this concern. And this is what made Imam W.D. Muhammad so special, because he language developed from his understanding that placed the emphasis where it was supposed to be placed. And this is what makes us so very special. This is why if this tradition is lost, if his leadership is not continued, or if it is not succeeded, then this will be a travesty and a tragedy for the life of man on this earth. Because I believe I can prove it, and I will over time find opportunities to preach this, that he was the person that Prophet Muhammad was predicting that would save the world for the teaching of Muhammad. And I don't want to mention too much more of that right now, but there's strong evidence for this, strong evidence. The period of time that we're living in now, the condition of this world, understanding what we are looking at in terms of the signs of Allah, we're in a position, having been taught by Imam W.D. Muhammad, to appreciate what we're experiencing now in a way that is more evolved than any other community of man on this earth. The students of Imam W.D. Muhammad, the true students, not the pretentious people, not the ones pretending to be that. They may have the skills of a articulate preacher, but the Holy Quran says good and evil are not the same, even though the evil as it is expressed may dazzle you. So we have some gifted preachers, but what is motivating them? What is motivating them? That is the question. We have to attend to the requirement and the obligation of sincerity, purity, sincerity and purity of faith. This is the religion straight. Sincerity and purity. That our devotion is to the Lord Creator. We turn to Him for guidance. We turn to Him for preservation. We turn to Him for forgiveness. We turn to Him for understanding. And we accept the message that He revealed to Muhammad, and we accept Muhammad as the completion of the message. We accept Muhammad as the completion of the prophethood, who established what is correct understanding and worship. And we accept that he predicted that a time would come where it would be necessary to push away from the emphasis on ritual life and come to appreciate and understand the attention to the essential human nature in its potential to build community existence. And that is the teaching of Imam W.D. Muhammad.
And when you say the essential human nature.
And earlier you made reference to the blackness of the nature. Are these concepts the same? Are they similar?
They're the same. The nature is black, meaning that everything that's necessary is there. nothing missing. Everything that's necessary is there. Black is the fullness of color. White is the absence of color. And I'm not referring to race now. This is not a reference to race. Not in any way is it a reference to race. It's referring to the true meaning of black and the true meaning of white. White is referring to purity in the sense of enhancement, but not the superiority of white over black. The Prophet Muhammad, he said, made very clear that there is no superiority of one over the other, that they work in concert in the cooperation for the development of consciousness of the Lord Creator and His plan. The Prophet said that the only superior is that one who is superior in taqwa, that one who is most regardful, meaning that that person has applied in their own life and in their the reach of their relationships an indication that they have devoted themselves to the way of God. This is taqwa. So the blackness of the nature is the same as potential. It's the same as that which is most necessary, most essential. This is what it's referring to. And so there are many symbols that we have for this. The black stone in the as part of the structure, the Kaaba, which we face in this direction. We face in the direction of the Kaaba, which is our Qibla, which is our direction in prayer. And the black stone is symbolic of this. The heart is symbolic of this as well. And there are many others. The pupil of the eye. This is the pupil. The iris of the eye is the color that's associated perhaps with ethnicity or race, but the black pupil is shared. All mankind shares it, and it's black in all of us. So this is also a sign, a symbol of the same understanding that at the core, the essential, the thing that is essential for all of us that we share in common is black.